What up, folks? My name is Skunk Commentary, and today we're going to talk about something that I haven't talked really much about on this channel, but yeah, we're going to talk about something that's going to be interesting. So, the most hyped up movie in 2021 was Dune. It was meant to be the next big franchise. And from what I can see, it turned out to be a thing that caught a lot of people's interest. And it has won multiple awards. And now, if my memory doesn't fail me, it also recently won a BAFTA award for Best Sound. And don't get me wrong, the sound in that movie is really great. I mean, sound is such a big part of most movies, and Dune really nailed it. But this movie has problems that no sound really can fix. And the problems in this movie are not only about... let's dive into them. So this will be a bit of a rant, because I had some fairly high expectations from this, because I love Star Wars. You can probably see that with me playing Star Wars The Old Republic. I love Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be just as great. But it wasn't. If I'm gonna be completely honest about it, Dune was a slow, pretty bad, fairly poorly written pile of sand. I mean, I would have much more fun watching the sand on the beach. So yeah, that is gonna say anything. So let's start off with what I actually liked about Dune. When I watched it, I thought the sound quality, the camera work, and the makeup and outfit design, that was all amazing. It did those things very, very, very well. But what Dune didn't do was make a good story. Because the story, oh boy. I know it is adapted from a novel, and the differences between a novel and a movie can differ a lot. I mean, there's a lot of differences, for example, between Stephen King's Mystery and the movie. And by the way, watch Mystery, it's much more worth it. It's half the time you... Now I need to check how long the piece of shit was. Yeah. My first problem with Dune was how long it was. Because when it comes to movies, they have to be very well paced. And it was 2.5 hours long. Well, that's simple. In those 2.5 hours, the most interesting thing you saw was sand. I'm not kidding. The movie, it was sand on top of sand. I had a snooze fest. I for real had a much more fun time playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. And I haven't even played the piece of shit. I can joke inside. I thought the movie was well made, but boring as fuck. So, let's talk about the 3 things I thought was most bad with the movie. Firstly, characters. Now, the characters were interesting and they had potential. But Skies using butt from Palace. that was also where it failed mostly, because the characters, yeah, sure, they were interesting, but all the characters except the main characters were the ones that you cheered on. And that is not what I want to see when I'm watching a movie. When I'm watching a movie, I want to see a great main character. A main character that you can kind of fall in love with and just have a great time with. For example, I love Cujo. This is a very unpopular opinion because I've seen so many people hate Cujo. But when it comes to Cujo, you feel sympathy for the main character. I did not feel any sympathy at all towards anyone in Dune, more than Jason Momoa's character, but that's because Jason Momoa is a pretty damn good actor, if I say so myself. And I'm still waiting for Jason Momoa, the Crow. But the thing is about Dune, the main character, Paul, I would more like to, I wouldn't mind seeing Paul Allen instead, but joking aside, he did not grow a single bit throughout the entire movie. Was that just me? If you've seen Dune, then you know that throughout the entire film, he gets hard carried by his mom. And all the times where he actually does grow a little bit, it's kind of ruined because his mom just steps in and is like the most important thing. And the mom, I think Rebecca Ferguson is a great actor. Or actress. She's a great... Well, I'm Swedish and we have only one word for actor and actress in Swedish vocabulary. But yeah, whatever. In the movie, she portrays the role in a very good way. I think that was how the movie was written. But... And she can't really... It's not her fault that her character was written to be a fairly overpowered character whose hard carries someone throughout the entire movie. Yes, sure. Someone getting hard carried throughout the movie can sometimes be a good thing. But that as the characters does grow. For example, I love Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It is one of the best movies ever made in my opinion. And throughout that entire movie, John Connor, played by Edward Furlong, he gets hard carried by Arnold playing the Terminator. And throughout the entire movie, we can first see how good Arnold is at playing a good guy, which you don't think after watching the first Terminator movie. But yeah, the film, also in the end, John Connor has grown a lot as character. Meanwhile in Dune, yeah, Paul didn't grow a single bit. I mean, his character was extremely flat. What was his personality even? Oh, I have dreams about a magical girl who's from Arrakis, and yeah, that was about it. That was everything. And I mean, and oh, I am the kid of a rich person. That was all it was really. I found that to be fairly boring, and especially when, yeah, you see what I'm getting at there. Let's move on to the next thing I thought was really bad with the movie. pacing or facing or whatever. This kind of ties into the first problem, because the movie is a slow burn. I think throughout most of it, we just follow his mom walking through sand, and a bit more sand, and oh, sometimes there is a graboid from Tremors thrown in the mix. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Now, special effects and all that was great, but then we come to the problem of the pacing being so slow that I could for real watch. I could go and spend that time by watching. I could go and watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Come out half an hour earlier, and I would have enjoyed myself a lot more. Or I could listen through 2 Hollywood and Dead albums, and I would have seen a lot more fun stuff happen. Because the pacing was just so slow. And I like slow burn movies. For example, I think Let the Right One In is, I've said this multiple times on my channel, but I think that is a great example of how to do a slow burn. Because that movie is a slow burn, but the characters grow and you get to know them and love them. What Dune did was that instead of spending time by showing us who these characters are, why we should care about them, they showed us sand, and you guessed it, a little bit more sand. And as the Star Wars fan I am, I hate sand. It's sticky and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. Yeah. And the last thing I would like to point out when it comes to this movie, the last problem I at least found in the movie was the acting. And now, a lot of the actors in this movie are great. Now I need to check all the cast. I'm gonna delete my search history after this too, so you guys know. Okay, so Jason Momoa, I think he's a great actor. I'm still waiting to see his version of The Crow, if that movie ever gets made. And Rebecca Ferguson, like I said, amazing actress, great actress. But if you want to watch a 2-hour slow burn with Rebecca Ferguson and you're a fan,
I'm not scared of you.
I'd recommend you to watch the great Dr. Sleep, a sequel to The Shining. Next up, Stellan Skarsgård, great Swedish actor. I think he always does a great job in his roles. The last movie I saw him in was The Exorcist, The Beginning, I think it was called. Great, not great movie, but good movie. But then we have Zendaya. I think they really wasted her talents because she can act. She is actually fairly good at acting. What the fuck happened to make her there? So that was the problem. They brought in some great actors, but they didn't give them the time and resources in the movie that they deserved. And then we have, I mean, all the smaller parts that were given to different characters. I mean, some of them were pretty welcome. I liked some of the smaller characters. I did not like every small character in this movie. It was not like I fell in love with them all, but there was some I enjoyed. Then we have the main character. And the actor for the main character, Timothy Chalamet. Sorry if I slaughtered his name there. But the guy had talent, but it felt like they didn't give him time to make his character grow. And when you're writing a character that you want your audience to like, then you should give them time to get to know and get to love this character. They would want to be a character. That's the thing with Star Wars. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Yoda. I think we all did. Or Luke, or Anakin. You wanted to be one of the Star Wars characters. You wanted to live in that wonderful universe with the Force and all that shit. And I know I'm comparing it a lot to Star Wars, but that's because these two movies, they are fairly similar, let's be honest. They're not rip-offs of each other. They're just very similar. And I love Star Wars. That is why I feel fairly cheated that Dune was not as good as it could have been. But yeah, I think those are the biggest problems, and I did not fault Timothy for making not the best performance in his life. I think the performance was a result of the script being mediocre, and that gave the effect that the character became mediocre. Yeah, that's just it. It was mediocre. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just mediocre, really. And if you're a fan of Rebecca Ferguson and want to watch a good movie with her instead, that is around the same length, go and watch Doctor Sleep. For God's sake. Unless you're out of your mind, go and watch Doctor Sleep. Great movie, based on a great book. I've read a large chunk of it, by the way. Yeah, Doctor Sleep is just a lot more worth it if you're a fan of Rebecca Ferguson. If you're a fan of
Valor, help! Someone is trying
good
to kill
old.
me. Valor, wait! Don't shoot. I'm not who you think I am.
If you're instead a fan of Stellan Skarsgård, go and watch another one. He has his filmography is larger than a fucking dictionary. And I will end this here. I'll see you guys next one. Have a great time.